morning, Metstrade. A warm welcome from our studio at Metstrade 2021. The show has just begun, and the coming 3 days, Metstrade will bring you Metstrade TV, a brand new comprehensive program with key insights, latest trends and developments in the leisure marine industry, straight from the show floor at Metstrade. My name is Pernille La Lau, and I will be your master of ceremony over the coming 3 days. This morning I'm joined by two distinguished guests, Niels Klarenbeek, Director Metstrade, and Dee Caffari, a professional sailor and ocean advocate. Niels leads the Metstrade team at RAI Amsterdam, and of course we will in-depth discuss the extraordinary edition of Metstrade, give insights from behind the scenes and identify the not-to-be-missed items of the largest business-to-business event in the global leisure marine industry. Did you sleep at all, Niels?
A bit.
I
need to admit, a few hours.
Yeah. It's been a big job, right?
It has been an extraordinary ride.
Yeah, but it's great to have you here right now. Furthermore, it's my pleasure to present to you Dee Caffari. Dee Caffari has sailed around the world 6 times. She's the only woman who has sailed solo, non-stop, around the world in both directions, and the first woman to sail non-stop around the world 3 times. This morning, Dee has presented the keynote speech at the Metstrade breakfast briefing. How did it go, Dee?
Well, I hope I woke everybody up with words of inspiration for them to start this epic that we're actually face-to-face with people here at Metstrade.
I'm sure about that. Well, Dee is also chairwoman of the World Sailing Trust, and she's on a mission to safeguarding our planet's waters and future-proof the sport of sailing. So here we are. Shortly we will definitely get back about your wonderful story and what you've been up to and what you are up to, because there's still a lot of planning. But first, Niels, 2 years after the latest Metstrade, and that was a purely online event. Right now, you said for 2021, I'm going to take care that we'll take care it will be a complete hybrid show. What can we expect this year?
This is going to be an event like any other Metstrade edition. The exhibitors are here. We have 1,123 exhibitors here, and it is a packed show, and we have seen that it's going very well.
Well, as we're seeing here all around us, so many people, it's buzzing around already since this morning, early. You must be a happy man, if I think about everything that has happened around COVID and restrictions, etc.
Definitely, it's very much a relief. After a year of cancellation last year, a virtual event last year, we now finally managed to bring back Metstrade, and we're very excited.
Yeah, I can imagine that, definitely. Well, a lot has to be arranged, of course. What should you keep in mind when you think of all regulations changing all the time and your team being, trying to prepare everything?
Yeah, of course, our key priority is the safety and well-being of all our guests. And we knew that the market in leisure marine is currently that good, and people have so much look forward to another edition of Metstrade again. And that was the key thing we kept in mind. All those small and medium-sized enterprises who wish to do business here in Amsterdam, and we are very happy to be able to accommodate them again.
Yeah, exactly, and there's so many here. It's unbelievable actually what needs to be coordinated behind the scenes. Let's have a quick look at the build-up.
To be here is absolutely great. To have a stand here is great. It's refreshing to be out and about again, and we're looking for a really productive show.
hope we can invite a lot of our customers, say hello to them after 1.5 years.
So we are absolutely looking forward to reconnecting with our international customers.
This is where we meet all our distributors, where we meet new customers. It's so important to be here.
With the final result, of course, of everything being beautifully blue carpeted and people going around, all the exhibitors are open. Wonderful to see that all this great work of the whole full team at RISE, such a success, Niels. What would you recommend? What would you like to highlight and recommend to visit?
Obviously, we just had the Dame Awards ceremony this morning. The Dame Award Pavilion is just right behind you, and anyone who's here, I would just very much recommend going there to see the latest innovation in marine equipment.
Yeah, because there are many innovations, right?
Yes, definitely. We see so many gadgets and integrated systems and all kinds of innovative products to ensure and enhance onboard comfort.
Yeah.
That's really one of the items. Furthermore, we have the Marina and Yard Pavilion, the Construction Material Pavilion, the Super Yacht Pavilion. It's all here, and yeah, definitely worth a visit.
Yeah, it's all worth a visit, actually. It's difficult to make a choice. I mean, if you think of, in terms of development and research and so on, what's the focus of this year's show, would you say?
Yeah, we have seen that as a boating boom occurs because lots of new boaters have been entering the leisure marine market, and they demand higher demands of comfort. So we see that this industry is very much adapting to that with all those new features.
Yeah.
And this is here at Metstrade is where all of that is being presented.
Yeah. Is it also that demand for higher comfort, does it also have to do especially with that COVID period where boats are also used as a working place, it's a perfect way of going out, you're safe, etc.?
Definitely, that's about it. COVID has brought us quite a lot, and in turn, it taught us how to recreate in the vicinity and enjoy the waters. And yeah, we have seen not only in the Netherlands but all over the world that there is a huge interest in new boats and second-hand, and boating is there. Yeah.
What it also has brought, of course, this period of the last year is Metstrade TV. A full studio, a complete development of your team in being online, making TV programs on top of all the exhibitions, which is great. A truly hybrid show. Well, what can we expect? What else would you like to highlight?
Yeah, we'll have a 3-day of, we're very proud to have a full 3-day programs, series of programs here from this very studio at the show floor. It's no need to watch it all at once because you can even watch this on demand on our Metstrade Connect platform. It is our way to offer a Metstrade flavor right from the show floor to those people who cannot make it to come over this year. And with all those influential people here around, we offer the very best content because the show is very much product focused, and here at this table you'll find lots of expert sessions and tech talks. I'm very happy with that.
Well, me too. I'm really looking forward to these coming 3 days and meeting so many experts and getting into conversations also, deep depth on what we can all expect and what's going on in the marine leisure industry. So thank you so much, Niels, so far. Well, we are super excited about the show, and we wish you and the team the best of luck, of course, and you all who are watching today. And before we go to our very special guest, let's give a quick impression of the Metstrade breakfast briefing.
Good morning, everyone. Leisure marine professionals from all over the world are here this week.
It's been such a long time. It's great to see you all in person and all be here together.
These are exciting times, and you're all here, so congratulations to all of you.
Yes, that was this morning, and right now at the table, I'm so thrilled, Dee, to see you. I mean, you're still alive. You're the only woman. Yes, it's amazing, Niels, don't you think? It is wonderful. This lady has sailed at least solo, non-stop, 3 times around the world. I know you've done many more times around the world, 6 in total, but I mean non-stop and solo, that's quite a thing. So,
yeah, I mean, most people don't ever achieve that, and I accept that, but you know, you look at it as inspiration for everybody. Everybody's got their own round the world, whether it be, you know, crossing an ocean, crossing the sea, or cruising to the next port along the coast.
Yes.
That's the wonderful thing about our sport, is there's something for everyone, and it's everyone's around the world at some level or another.
well, it's everyone's around the world. When I think about you 6 times going both ways, it could also be something like, okay, I really have to be really, really good before I even would try something like that.
No, not necessarily, and that's, you know, there's a lot of industry experts and there's a lot of help and people willing to help people develop in the industry.
That's right.
And you got to go out there and try it, and the most important thing is you learn from your mistakes. And believe me, I may have gone around the world 6 times, but I've made plenty of mistakes as well.
We'll get to that shortly, definitely. But I'm happy you didn't make the mistakes in such a way that you would go down under. So it's good to have you here. Yeah, you were invited to Metstrade in Icomia to give this morning's breakfast briefing your special touch, and you had your keynote, which was titled, and I quote, "The ocean unites us all, socially, economically, and environmentally." And you mentioned this is our chance to rebuild for the better and look to future-proof our industry by leading the way in sustainability. What do you exactly mean by that?
Well, I think it's a very topical conversation right now. Everybody wants to move in that direction, but it's such a vast area. People are confused and they don't know where to start. So it's about just defining what sustainability is and being careful that we just don't turn things green.
What do you mean with that?
Well, there's a lot of
Why shouldn't you turn things
There's
green?
a lot of greenwashing going out there where claims are being put out there and they're not substantiated. So I think it's really important as an industry that we look to do things better. We look to be credible in what we're doing and authenticate it so that we have some metrics to measure against it so people can be confident.
Right.
We have conscientious consumers now. They know they want to make the right choice, but we need to help them, show them what the right choice is.
Yes.
And we need our industry to be absolutely above board and credible in what they're saying. And I think it's an important stage that we're at, and I think our future is really exciting.
When I hear you like that, actually you're saying it's a journey that we're in all together. It is a process that goes gradually. You cannot be there from today
No, we
till
can't
tomorrow.
click our fingers and
Right.
tomorrow everything's become sustainable.
Exactly.
That doesn't exist.
Yes.
And we have existing operations and products that we need to think of their end of life cycle. We need to think of our development of our new products and our life cycle analysis.
Yes.
And we just need to change our way of thinking and be better in so many areas that it is a journey and it's going to take time.
Yeah, well, that's at least honest, definitely. Why is it so important to you?
Well, I sit as the chair of the World Sailing Trust, and we're the charity for the International Federation of World Sailing. And our 2 focus areas are people and planet. And we want to safeguard our waters so that more people have access. And we've heard that the recent, through the pandemic, that boating in general has grown. You know, we can't go far on our holidays, so let's make our holidays our own, and let's have a holiday hotel that changes its view from the window every day.
Continuously.
I mean, it's fabulous.
Yeah.
And I think it's really important that we do our best to make sure in all areas, whether it's access for new participants, whether it's access for more diversity and inclusion, whether it's at the elite end, getting them better equipment and thinking better about the future, we're trying to assess that in all areas. So it's really important for me that as a sport that operates on the water, that we do our best to look after it and do the best practice we can to lead the way in our sector.
Yeah, and it is really an important topic. I mean, we're all talking about, we just had the climate congress, of course, in Glasgow, and mentioning that, we're all talking about land. And we're not so much focused on the marine leisure industry. That's what we're going to do these 3 days, definitely, during Metstrade as well. So which way would you say that exhibitors and also the audience of leisure marine industry can support this endeavor?
I think it's making sure they're informed and making sure they're confident to ask the questions. But not to be scared as an exhibitor that you haven't got the answers yet, but explain that you're on the journey or that's the next stage, because nobody's expecting them to have all the answers now. But we are going to have to move forwards, and it's linking that impact that the sea and the ocean has with our planet's health. And people that live in cities haven't got that connection yet. And I think it's our role, especially someone in my position, to have the responsibility to show that connection so that people are much more aware.
To be honest, I must say to both of you, first time I went deep diving, I discovered a complete new world underwater. And having done so, I suddenly felt connected much more. I mean, you really do have to know more about waters, our seas, and get into it, actually dive into it, literally, to also have that connection. But I do believe it's one of the biggest tasks also of Metstrade and also of people like you, Dee, to promote this and make things come out and be more clear.
Definitely, and I think it needs to be done in a positive way so that we take people willingly on a journey and we don't kind of ram down, that's not good enough. You know, we need to champion the good things and celebrate success.
Oh, well, I like you saying championing the good things. Let's go to you championing the good things. You thought you had everything good on your boat when you were sailing around the world. And when you were in the Southern Ocean, suddenly, well, your water pump broke down, even your spare pump broke down. I mean, you literally pushed your boat, yourself, and all the equipment far over the limit, I would say, to survive. You had your team on land reverse engineering some kind of tools to try to make that water pump work again. It's all written in your book, which is a great book, Against the Flow. You can read it here. But may I ask you, in English, not in Dutch, even though we're in Amsterdam, to read this little part, because that's all about when everything broke down. And, well, even you had some question marks.
Yes, one of the many problems I encountered. So, dear all, I wrote, I'd call you, but I'm currently crying. I now have 2 high-pressure pumps in pieces that don't turn anywhere. How the hell did we end up with 2 on board that don't work? I threw a few tools around in frustration, but there was nothing to do but wait until the morning and call the shore team again. The following day, I made that phone call as soon as I could. With a sixth sense, Andrew Roberts, my manager, had anticipated my call and had already spoken to the pump manufacturer and worked out a solution for me. It was so simple. Well, the pumps had been serviced, the pump housing had not been torqued down uniformly. In a split second, my hard-won confidence shattered. I felt like a fraud. I couldn't get a simple high-pressure pump to turn over. How on earth did I expect to get round the world? I went back to the oilskin room where the water maker was fitted and sat with tools and pump parts all round me, frustrated, soaked in sweat as the day grew hotter and hotter in the little cabin, more and more stifling. At last, in the middle of the afternoon, after a full 24 hours of water maker maintenance, I was able to call Andrew to let him know it was running. The tanks were being filled. By the time I tidied up, I was starving, and I set about cooking a monster-sized meal of tuna and pasta.
Being overly happy, I assume.
Celebrate in small wins by food often.
Wow, yes, well, you're right. Well, it's inspiring, isn't it?
Your book really inspired me, and I never realized, I knew you were a sailor and solo navigating the world, but I never realized that you also need to be a skilled reverse engineer, problem solver, fixer, to make that happen. You have been sailing professionally for almost 2 decades now. We are here at, of course, the Metstrade show on marine equipment. What kind of developments have you been seeing in marine equipment over the years?
Well, I think, as you say, sailing is actually a very small part of going around the world, and it's all the peripheral things that people often forget. And I would say that there's a much better thought process of the end user in mind, rather than just what the engineer wanted to develop. So I'd say that's a very positive step forwards. But I'd say we're still designing as light as possible for performance, and we forget about the durability and making sure that it's built to last. So I think that's still a gap. And I think we need to have more measurements in place so that we can meet the claims and the credentials that we're talking about. So I think it's one thing to say a piece of equipment can do that, but have we got any measurements in place that actually back up that evidence?
Well, we're measuring it through you.
Yeah, tried and tested.
And we find out if it works or not.
And you have worked with race management and shore teams, boat builders, refit yards. What are your most important demands when deciding what kind of equipment to apply?
When it's not prescribed, like if it's not one design where you get what you're given and you have to live with that, it does open the market to loads of new ideas and new innovation, and that's exciting. And I think as a sailor, what you're looking for, anything offshore or long distance, you're looking for reliability. You want the confidence that it's going to do the job and is built to last and withstand the conditions. And it's very hard to go and send stuff to the Southern Ocean to be tested. So there's a level of confidence that needs to be built. And I'd say for the inshore circuit, the coastal stuff, it's more about full-on performance. So again, I'm almost exaggerating that gap I spoke about, where durability versus performance, and the two need to meet somewhere in the middle.
Yeah, well, I can imagine that also, you mentioning that, of all people, of course, because I mean, it's your life depending on it. And I mean, you really feel it to the heart when things go wrong.
Definitely, and we think of equipment sometimes of the mechanics that make the boat sail, or the electronic equipment that keep you connected, or the safety equipment that keeps you alive, but actually it's all keeping you alive.
Yes.
It's all just as important. So
Yes.
the range is phenomenal.
I think that when the equipment has survived your journeys, it's up to anything, isn't it? So I've heard that this is actually your first time at Metstrade. What are you looking forward to see along the aisles and in the buzz going around here?
Well, there definitely is a buzz with people being face to face, and it's a lot of familiar faces that I haven't seen for a while.
Yeah.
So as I said, like everything seems to be important to me. So I want to be able to take it all in, but actually go and see the familiar faces face to face and connect with them again. And catch up with people that you haven't seen.
Yes.
And as a byproduct of that, you can see what innovation's been going on in the last 18 months that we haven't had chance to see or touch or feel or have explained to us. So it's cool.
I'll give you one little insight, that the entries of the Dame Awards are truly great, and so many innovations to come. So I'm sure you will enjoy, but I do believe people will also be enjoying to meet you face to face, because are you going off on a next trip soon again?
Well, I definitely haven't hung up my sailing boots yet. I really hope there's another around the world, because I genuinely love being out there.
Yeah.
I love what I get the opportunity to do, and so I'm trying very hard to make that happen.
I would say, Dee, you don't seem the type to me that's hoping. You seem to be the type that's doing. So when are you going?
Well, hopefully there's another ocean race due not too far away, and hopefully I'll be on the start line.
Yes.
When? In the meantime, I'll still be doing double-handed sailing, so I'm still busy on the water.
What year? What year? Can we?
So the next race will be going January 23. So.
Wow, that's amazing, huh? So we will be waving there at the second.
Well, let's hope so. Let's touch wood.
We will make contact, right?
There's a lot of suppliers here in this room, so maybe I'll be having some conversations.
Yes, and definitely we would love to have you back at Metstrade, of course, to tell your next story and try to, well, keep everything going. I think that when you go home with all the products from here, probably you will do another step, right? Good.
Definitely.
Great. Well, thank you so much for having you both. I really enjoyed that. I wish you both a lovely, lovely day. And this was Good Day Metstrade. I wish you a great day at the show. For those of you who are watching through the Metstrade Connect platform, I wish you a pleasant day full of connectivity also. Please remember that the system allows you to make virtual appointments with exhibitors and visitors at Metstrade during and after the show. That's another feature that we're offering you. So tomorrow there is going to be another Good Day Metstrade here at 10:30 Dutch time. We start here again. Niels, you will be there. We'll be going from starting from the ground floor here.
The latest insights from day one.
Yes, exactly. Looking forward to that too. So, and here we will be back at 11:30 with the next program, which is the Dame Dynamics. See you then.